Billy, look at me.
Huh?
Do you feel weird?
You mean like weirder than usual?
Yeah, different.
Listen, something happened up there, okay? I'm not the same.
Me either. Oh, I'm strong.
How strong?
Like insanely strong.
I feel like we need to go back up there.
Welcome to Think About It Reviews, where we're talking... it's morphin' time. Power Rangers. Power Rangers, the 2017 film. Now, I remember watching the original Power Rangers when it first came out. You had Tommy. Tommy was the shit, man. He was the Green Ranger, White Ranger. You had Zordon, Alpha 5, the whole team, right? Red, yellow, black, blue, the original cast of Power Rangers. And I had all the toys, all that stuff. Went to the Ooze, Power Rangers, the Revenge of Ooze or something like that. And luckily, that's not what we got in this movie. Did I like it? I am going to be completely honest with you. I went into this film with super low expectations. The last couple of trailers, I was like, oh, looks like cartoony to me when Alpha 5 was introduced. I really liked this film. No, hold up. I know what you guys are thinking. The people who love Power Rangers, I think they're gonna have a problem with this film, and there is problems with this film. Don't worry, I'll get to that. There's problems with this film as a movie, as a whole, as something different, a little bit different, especially the way this team comes together. I really dug this film a lot. There was a lot of good in this film, and that could really take off in future films if maybe another director is involved, and of course some things are changed here and there. Let's get into it. I thought the two characters that just stood out in this film was the Blue Ranger and the Red Ranger. My favorite was Billy. It seems like they changed the diversity a little bit, changed the costumes a little bit. I mean, we have Zach, who isn't the Yellow Ranger because he's Asian. Remember the jokes that came around, yeah, of course the Asian's gonna be yellow. They changed that around. Zach is Asian and now he's the Black Ranger, and then the black guy on this team is the Blue Ranger, which he's Billy. It's Billy, and Billy was a white man back in the original series, but I loved Billy. I loved the character Billy. I thought he's the one that brought the heart of this film. His friendship with Jason, the Red Ranger, really, that's what really made this film really go. If you don't have that relationship, if you don't have the chemistry of this cast and the teamwork, I think this film falls apart, but it doesn't. Luckily, it does not do that. Luckily, it just really. Billy was such a funny character when he needed to be funny. He was, of course, everybody's like a delinquent. Okay, this is the Breakfast Club of Power Rangers. That's how it is. That's what they went for, and either you're along with it, even though you're a fan of the original Power Rangers or the Power Rangers, all the series, you just gotta kind of go with it. You just got to realize that this is 2017. They do a lot of Easter eggs. They do a lot of callbacks in this film. But when it comes to these characters, they're going to change up the characters. And I thought they changed it up in the right way with most of the characters. And I'll get to that in a moment. So Billy was such a he was such a comedic character. But yet he was so relatable. He was, the nerd guy who got picked on. But he was the actor portrayed him so well, and he was so likable in the film that you couldn't help but love Billy in the film. And the other one was Jason. Jason was the lead. He reminded me of Zac Efron a lot when I was watching the film, but this guy has some chops, man. He really delivered a lot of great stuff when he had to with a lot of these lines, and he really had that essence of a leader. He really did take charge. There were some moments where acting wise he could have done a little bit better and some spots here and there, but overall his performance was really good. I thought he did a fantastic job, and I thought his chemistry with Billy right from the get-go was so good, and I just love these two together. I thought they were great buds. I love the buds. It's like Tony and Banner that chemistry. I really thought that. Kimberly in here, she remind you a lot of the original Kimberly? Man, she looked like her. There was one particular part where she cuts her hair though, and I'm like, why did you do that? What was the whole, what was that really necessary? It was a little weird. I was just saying, it was a little weird. She remind me of the Kimberly back in the original, honestly, and the relationship she has with Jason and Billy and all the Trini, is it Trini and Zach? I thought she held her own. She wasn't super bright where she was like, oh my god, she was amazing, but she was still a standout because she was beautiful. But not only that, she was able to hold her own with a lot of these characters in the film. Zach, I wanted to really like. There is some things here and there that they sprinkle in to make them relatable. Two characters that needed more shine in this film was Zach and Trini, the Black Ranger and the Yellow Ranger. I just felt like their story could have been a lot better, and they didn't get the same treatment like Kimberly, Jason, and Billy. I felt like they were kind of caught in a wayside, and then one particular moment they just like kind of chalk it up like, yep, that's them. So either you guys like them or not. So I felt like they were the weakest link in the film, but acting wise, the weakest link had to be Elizabeth Banks. Was terrible. I get it. All right, I get that it's harkening back to the original series. She's playing it like that. They probably had her play it like that, honestly, because I feel like, okay, they wanted two tones in this film. I felt like they wanted the serious tone that you got in that fan film a little bit, and they wanted to bring it back to what everybody nostalgia feeling, and that's with Elizabeth Banks' character. That's why they brought her in. But I thought she was absolutely dreadful in the film. I thought her look was great. I thought the makeup was great. I even thought the effects were great in this film. To the end, it's CGI, but kind of reminiscent of Pacific Rim. Rita was so over the top, and like the delivery Elizabeth Banks gives is just terrible. I really think, even if you are going to be goofy, I think there's a much more better actress out there who could actually deliver these lines, because I really thought every time she was on screen, I cringed. I cringed a lot, especially her movements. I'm pretty sure it's hard to move in that costume she's in, but the movements she was making, the facial expression she was making, the delivery she was doing, I thought Elizabeth Banks really brought this film down, honestly. Bryan Cranston was great. He's always great. I really loved how Zordon is different from the original or Power Ranger series. He's more challenging. He's more really kind of questioning a lot of these new Power Rangers, which is different than when I got from when I was a kid. So very more deeper with that character, especially the beginning of this film was so great. I love the beginning of this film and really showcasing who the Power Rangers are and where they came from. I really liked Alpha 5. Bill Hader is awesome. He always delivers comedic moments when he has to and is serious when he has to, but I really don't like Alpha 5's look. They gave him a pot belly. He's like a little short little thing. I took my mother to go see this because she really wanted to see this, and she loved Alpha 5. She loved everything about Alpha 5. I could see kids loving Alpha 5. I could see even adults loving Alpha 5, but I really did not. The only thing I didn't like about Alpha 5 was the design, especially the vehicles that they were in, the Zoids. They were, design-wise, I felt like you couldn't really, like, it was a Transformers kind of thing, where you couldn't really see the fine detail in them. You couldn't really see what kind of course, it was a T-Rex for Jason's, but I really felt like the Zoids could have been just detailed so much better and looked so much, design wise could have been better, but that's a little nitpick on that. The transformation of them was really great. I thought it reminded me of Optimus Prime, honestly, but that was really great as well. This director was very capable of making this film, and I think he did a great job handling this film and handling a lot of the characters and a lot of the direction in here. But there was some direction where the camera was that, handheld type of Hunger Games style, where it was just way too close, too many Dutch angles. I don't know why people use Dutch angles when they shouldn't use Dutch angles. I don't know. I don't understand what's the fascination of that. When they're tilting the camera to the side. There was a camera work that I really loved. I really loved it because it really got me. It was like I was in the car itself. And that was when there's a part where Jason is he's in a high speed kind of chase, and the camera's inside the car, and it's one kind of shot going from the back looking at the cops back to Jason forward who's not really looking at the cops. Like it was actually a very, it wasn't executed 1,000% good, but it was so good. It was good enough for me to really get myself into that situation. That was a great shot in there. The Power Ranger suits themselves was fine. I did not have a problem with it. I thought they were okay for what they were. If it was me, I probably would have redesigned it a little bit more to make it not as metallic. I just felt like it was too much Iron Man in those suits. But for the film, I thought it worked fine because of the actors and the chemistry that they all had with each other. The villains, the monsters that came out of this film were, like I said, there was a lot of design work that could have been better in this film, like the monsters themselves. And I would have liked a little bit more of Rita's backstory. Rita has this issue, has this conflict. She wants to find this crystal. That's the whole point of this film, but they really don't explain what the crystal really is. There's a lot of also loose ends that never come to play that you think they're going to come to play. There's a lot of plot holes in this film, but you know, with all that, with all the plot holes, with all the how convenient, like they have these coins, right? And these coins don't lead them to anything. They don't lead them to Alpha 5. They don't lead them to Zordon. They don't lead them. They're never led. They just happen to find a lot of what they need to find to move the story along. And I felt like that was a little bit like, okay, come on, you know, you could have had somebody had something, a device leading them to everything that they need to find. But I thought that was a little bit, but overall, I think the film was great. I had a great time. I was entertained. I thought it was fun. I didn't take it seriously. I was a kid when I watched Power Rangers. I still love Power Rangers. I still love, you know, all the Rangers and stuff when done right. And I grew up and I don't watch it anymore. But a film like this really kind of brings back my interest in it and really makes me look forward to other films. Like this is what it wanted to do, I think, and this is what is done a fantastic job. That's why I got to give it praise, is that it makes me want to see more, and it makes me want to see more of this cast. I do want a different director involved. I do want a different villain involved, which there is a mid-credit scene, so check that out. But I do like the future of the Power Rangers, and I'm teetering to love this film, honestly. I really liked it. I really liked this film. With all the problems that you could talk about, there was a lot of good that outweighed the bad. And like I know where all the bad is, but I really think that this film had a lot more good and a lot more writing for it than other films that I've seen this year, and did a better job in that and executing a lot of things that I thought were going to work actually working. So thank you guys for listening. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Write any comments. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts. I want to just respond to you guys. Please let me know. And do I recommend this? Hell yeah, I recommend this. I think you guys will have a good time, and the nostalgia factor is still there. So not as hard hitting as it should, but I just liked how the direction this Power Rangers movie took, and I was super surprised how much I really liked it. So thank you guys for listening, and like I always say, grab a tick, grab a seat. I have some popcorn actually I should eat. I'll see you at the cinema. Bye guys.